Welcome everybody to Murdock, Manwaring, Cardon Real Estate at EXP, our monthly market update. We are covering what's going on in the real estate world in Southeast Idaho for September 2025. We're going to cover our three major counties, Bonneville County, Bingham County, and Jefferson counties. But of course, if you have specific information about your house or where you live, that's what we're here for. Give us a call. We have plenty more stats that we can share with you. This will give us a little bite and a taste. And if you're wondering about your specific situation, that's when you talk to us directly and we can narrow this down to be just about you and what your goals you're trying to accomplish. By the way, if you want to get all of these stats and this video in your email each month so you don't miss out, just go to mmcidaho.com, click at the top to get the newsletter. And you'll find all these stats, but then you'll also get some fun local business information and real estate updates and information about the team. All right, let's get started. Let's see what happened in September of this year.
Let's roll. I'll just run through some of the key takeaways that we're going to be looking at year to date. And then we'll look at specifically September last year and September this year. But overall, year to date, we actually saw a rise in home sales in our area, 7.1% year to date, a pretty healthy increase from last year. We also saw 15.7% higher listings come into the market. So that gives buyers more options because more people decided to list this year than last year.
I think that's a significant number, Jeremy. Knowing that we're getting more inventory, I think that is going to really be great and healthy for the market. Having more options, I think is great.
Yeah, it can be a little sticky if we get too many, right? And we're saturated with supply, and then the buyers aren't as much because of affordability, interest rates, but we're still seeing our home prices hold steady. We had an uptick of 0.23% in our stability. Days on market did go up a little bit, 4 days, not too significant. Dipped a little bit in list to sold ratio, and absorption rate decreased from 5.7 to 5.2, which says things are selling a little quicker. So some contradictory views of the market and statistics that say we're still healthy, but we could be going, one direction or the other. So that's why we like to look individually at the month and the trend of the month, and then the year to date. So here's the year to date on the numbers that we just talked about, and the number that actually references the percentages. So there was 1705 home sales last year. This year there was 1826. And then the new
Now,
listings.
interestingly enough, Jeremy, when you mentioned that, when you said contradictory, it really has some contradictory stuff. When you see new listings outpacing home sales, we should see prices coming down. We should see that, and yet we have a little tick. But 0.23, a quarter of a percent in home price really is a steady home price. And so it really is a good, stable market. We're in a good, balanced market.
Yeah. The bottom is not dropping out, and that's what we're hopeful for. And this is we're looking over here on the right-hand side, home prices year to date. That doesn't necessarily mean that your house only went up 0.23%. It's just saying the average home sale price went up. So if we had some outliers of some major big $2-3 million properties, or some really cheap distressed sales that went for way below market, those kind of get taken out year to date with all the counties, and it says here's our average price. And so we're just seeing some good stability. In certain areas it's a little more, that's a little less in other areas. So like Jessica said, let's get specific with yours and just give you the information if you're even interested to know.
It really is interesting when we see the average home price. It's what are people buying? It's not this is the value of your home. What is it the price that most people are buying in? And this is kind of the middle of the road. What is our normal middle of the road house in Southeast Idaho? You're talking about probably 2,400 to to 2,800 square feet, 4 to 5 bedrooms, 2 to 3 baths, 2 car garage on a quarter of an acre. That's the middle of the row home in Southeast Idaho. It's probably costing about $423,000.
Yeah. And what's the payment? And that's almost a first time home buyer,
It is. It is
right?
interesting enough. Yeah.
And so if we're talking what's our payment on that, that's 2,500 to 3,000 bucks a month, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if you figure half of that, if it's 2,500 and that can only be half of your gross income, your household has to make $60,000 to buy your first home
Without any debt. I mean, it's yeah, it's
without any other debt.
yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
that's a
it's
quick
interesting.
idea of affordability, because if you look at your gross income and you're a one income household and it's not 60 or above, it's tough to buy a house right now.
Right.
There are some good grants out there and some different interest rates that you can get for first time home buyers, and we'd love to explain those to you so we can get more specific that way. But that's the affordability problem that we're seeing right now.
Now, I'll tell you, we've got some agents on as well that it is getting more popular for a seller to do what's called a rate buy down. We're
Yeah.
seeing that a lot, and that was back in the day, in the time when rates are so low. We didn't see that for a long time, probably 10 years since that's been popular. But we are seeing that a lot more to where the seller uses some of the seller's concessions, a portion of the purchase price, to buy the rate down for the buyer, either temporarily or permanently. And so that gets that afford the rate is the most important part of your payment. That really affects it the most. And so those rate buy downs, if you can't quite afford, man, we can get creative and talk about a rate buy down. And you may say, I'm going to offer a little bit more for the house because I'd like the seller to help me buy that rate down so I can afford the payment.
Yeah, great point. Rate buy down, get your monthly payment down and set into a range that actually works for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here are the counties individually. Um, you look at Jefferson County, it's a 72% number and the big 20%. We're not talking, this is just for that 1 month. And so, it doesn't tell the whole story. That's why we like to do the year to date. But from 24 to 25, just in that 1 month, that's where we saw a big increase of 72%. That's a big,
Yes.
right?
That when you're only doing 3 counties, that taking 72%, that really can change your average.
Yeah. But 18 to 31. So, a significant increase from last year, which is good.
Yeah.
But if we were only looking at that 1 month in that one county and didn't see the number, we might think, whoa, Jefferson County is blowing up, right?
But then look
What
at 20% reduce in home price. So it's interesting. Last year, probably some more big homes sold in the month,
yeah,
and there were only 18. So it'd be easy to affect that average price. With only 18 sell, if you had a couple big ones, it's going to bring that average sale price up. We had more this time, and the average sale price is a little more toward the median, which means, we had some more affordable homes or homes a little more, probably didn't have as many outliers.
that's right. That's right. And in Bingham
Interestingly,
County,
on days on market too. If someone's looking, how long
yeah,
is it going to take to sell a home? Those days on market are creeping up. Don't expect it's you should lose that expectation that we sell in 2 to 3 weeks all the time or 1 week. That you should be worried if your house isn't sold in a month. But it's seeing these, but it also means no, coming from the listing side, sellers are still struggling to get their homes priced where the market is, and they'll wait. But I'll tell you, it does not help your price to sit longer on the market. Nobody comes back after 45 days and goes, let's offer the highest price in there. Let's get in there and give them everything they want. That really happens in your first couple weeks. So if you price correctly for the market, you should sell within a couple weeks. You should. Don't think that you've sold too quickly. It means you've priced right. Otherwise, you're going to have to work your price down.
that's right. And that's a tricky thing to get into your head as a seller. But we have the stats and the information to show you so you can decide for yourself exactly how it works and understand for yourself. Well, what's interesting, you look at Bingham County new listings, up 21%, home prices down 4%. So there's a bunch of condos and townhomes going in to meet the need of the affordability, right? And those are priced below 400,000. And I think that, the number, you see the home sales down from last year. And so that Jessica calls that the dark horse, right? Bingham County.
That's
If
right. Bingham
you really
County.
can, you really can live in Bingham County and find a home less expensive, a little more affordable in Bingham County. And with the, new listings, less transactions, it puts pressure on sellers to price more aggressively.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of Bingham County. Look at that average price. You can find some affordability there, and it is an easy, I mean, it's an easy commute. If you live in Idaho Falls or Pocatello out of Blackfoot and that area, it's great. Beautiful out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and interesting as I look at the average home price in September in Bonneville County, down to 408. We are seeing there's been a lot of construction. People talk about that a lot in Idaho Falls. So much construction, lots of townhomes. So you're seeing
Yeah.
a lot of townhomes on the market, and that will bring our average price down because they're a little more affordable. Because people are like, I could get into a little more affordable, even a new, to get into a new townhome, especially as a first-time home buyer, that's a great entry point into home ownership.
Yeah. It's great. We got a lesson in Adam with this. So if you guys want to jump in on anything and uh, feel free, we want to leave a pause just in case. Here is a snapshot real quick from month to month. So just September last year, September this year, all three counties combined. Overall, decrease in home sales. So if we just stuck with the year to date, which is here again, the year to date says we're up, right? 7.1%, but here we are in just that 1 month. Are we seeing and will we see a continual decrease in the number of home sales? Because this is our current month indicator that if this happens again in October, we may see a even lower, then we're going to start seeing that trend. But year to date, we're still up, but September is showing that we're down and new listings are up. So putting really a lot of pressure on the seller right now, right? More inventory, less buyer activity.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you look at that and see home prices, also it puts more pressure on the upper end. So if you have a home that's above 600,000, less buyers, more new listings, it again pressurizes to where you might be in a buyer's market in depending on your price range. This is overall showing a little bit of a balanced market, but depending on your price range, you might be in a significant buyer's market in the upper end, or you might still be in a good a seller's market or a seller's market in the low end. You don't know. You got to look at your individual
Yeah,
things. But yeah, as of now, this trend looks toward a now we're seasonal, right? September is when in Southeast Idaho we start to turn to where we see a seasonal change. But interestingly enough, new listings up. So
yeah.
that should be if we keep doing new listings up, buyers, it's a great time. It would be a great time to buy this winter.
Absolutely. Seasonality does come into play. We've got holidays coming, we got cold weather. People don't, if you had a choice, you probably would not choose to move you know, in between Christmas and New Year's. But guess what? Some people have to.
Yeah.
And when you have to, there's always activity in the market because there are those situations that we have to. And so we tend to see what, Jessica, 10 to 12, maybe 14% difference in these months as far as seasonality is concerned, but it's not that big a difference. It's not half.
No,
Still
no.
lots of
It
activity.
doesn't stop.
Yeah.
The market doesn't stop. It slows and the discretionary seller and the discretionary buyer will sometimes wait for the spring, right? Or they might just get past the holidays. So it's a great time. Buyers are serious during this time. If
Right.
they're shopping during the holidays, they need to move. But also sellers don't have as much activity. They might be more motivated. So
Yeah.
again, it's that same idea. It's a great time. We still see a lot of houses getting bought and sold in the fall and winter.
Yeah. Yeah, serious buyers, serious sellers, or it's not tire kicking time. If we're actually doing activity in these months, we can get deals together. So that's a good
Now, I
thing.
might always mention if you're thinking that maybe when this winter is to sell for you, it might be a great time to call us because we could get some pictures before all the leaves are gone, before the grass is completely brown. It come to us now because let's get some pictures done, and you might not hit the market till January, but we could have some great pictures, much better than just a snow-covered winter wonderland in your pictures.
Great call.
Yeah,
That's it for September. So thanks for joining us. Jessica
yeah.
always said,
Did he freeze at the exact right time? Look at that. Well, there we go. He exited right at the right time. Thanks, you guys, for everything. Make sure to join us each week, and please let us know if we can help you specifically. And we'd love to chat with you. Give us a call. Thanks, everybody.